friends! So today I'm gonna be sharing with you some ideas that as a amateur crocheter I've been wanting to do to myself. So it's a perfect gift for your crocheter friend or knitter, and you can make them with your own hands. So those are 3 projects that I have in mind. One, it's like a case where you can put your hooks and your scissors when you travel. The other one is a project agenda or journal, because it's very handy to keep track of all the yarns and hooks that you are using for each project. And the last one is a bowl that we're gonna be doing to place our yarn balls, and so they are not crawling everywhere when you are knitting or crocheting. The first project is gonna be the case, the hook holder, or whatever you want to call it. Normally I travel with this kind of thing, but it's too big for what I actually carry with me. That it's normally this scissor thing, 2 hooks. Sometimes I wear this counting the stitches thing. The markers, and maybe a crochet needle or 2. I mean, this is not really necessary, and depending on what step of the project you are in, you kind of know if you're going to be using the needles or just the hooks, or what are you going to be doing. But yeah, I mean, like, it's not a lot of things. And when I was looking for inspiration on this project, I had the feeling that the cases that they were doing were too much. Like, it's okay if you want to have them at home and that's it, because it's gonna be like as big as this, but to travel is kind of uncomfortable. So we're gonna do something smaller. Here you see me sketching the idea, a very important part of every project, but it's long, so here you have the result. For our case, we need 2 pieces that are the same length and width. So we're gonna make the job easier by tracing it once and cutting it only once again. Now we are going to cut the pocket part in this other felt color. We are now attaching the hook pocket. Start by holding it in place with the thread. And adjust every little pocket to your hook size. I left 2 centimeters of space and 1 centimeter of height. Now sew the sides and bottom part of the pocket. To hold the markers, I'm using 7.5 centimeters of elastic. Pin it and sew it. the needles, I'm doing a rectangle of 7 by 2.5 centimeters of waved yarn. Alternating the under-over pattern every time. It's the next day and all the useful pockets have been done. Like, this is for placing the hooks, the needles, like you left it there, and here the markets. I mean, that's all you really need. Here you can put also the cutting tools. Anyway, so all the useful stuff is done. You can leave it there, but sometimes I'm a little bit extra. So I think I'm gonna decorate it. Maybe, well, like I'm gonna do kind of a beehive, because this detail with the yarn was giving me this hive bee vibe. So I think I'm gonna do some panels here and maybe like a bee somewhere here. And you have to do this before sewing this together, because remember, this is two pieces that will be, this is the back. That's why we need two pieces, because this is gonna be hidden. We need to sew this along this line and then flip it inside out. So before doing that and sewing it together, we need to make all of the designs that we want in this part of the case and also in the front part. So for the design, I'm gonna be tracing it in pencil, but you have to be very careful because all the marks that we are gonna be there doing here will have to be later hidden with the thread or the yarn that you use. I finished with the inside part, and now we're gonna tackle the outside. For that, have in mind that this is gonna be folded. So this is gonna be the front part of our case, and this is gonna be the back part of our case. And now to make things a little bit faster, I'm gonna be attaching this to my table so that I don't have to be holding it all the time. And I can be using both of my hands to stitch. first, what we're gonna do once finished the design at the front, we can now go to trace the solapa, the flap, so that the hooks doesn't stick out. Okay, so now we have our piece cut, and what we're doing now, it's pin it in place, and now right sides facing, we fold it and we pin it. The closing mechanism of this case is gonna be this button and this elastic band. I just made a knot here so that when we stitch it, it's really gonna stay inside the case. Okay, so for the moment we forget about the button and about this other part. What we need to do is to take the hook part and put it inside, like that, and leave the knot out. Okay, that way when we stitch this, it's gonna be trapped like this, and when we flip it inside out, the loop is gonna show off. I'm sewing the edges together. So this is what we currently have, and now it's time to snap the corners so that when we flip it, it's not bulky in the corners, in the edges. Our piece is ready. Isn't it the cutest thing? Like, it's cute and useful. Like, you open it and then you have all your tools stored. I mean, I'm gonna use it every time I travel. And honestly, it didn't took me that long. I would say around 7-8 hours. But the worst or more time consuming part was the embroidery, and that's totally up to you. So if you just want a useful case, then I think it won't take you more than 2 or 3 hours. So yeah, it's a great gift, and in case you do it and you just gift it to someone, please share it with me, because I will be so happy to see all your creations. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the digestive system with the lips, and I need more holes.